up, knuckleheads? Welcome to episode 28 of the Beefy Boys Bud Club. I'm Joe, and I'm joined here with Vito.
What up?
And Christian.
What up?
And we are the Beefy Boys. All right, boys, what are we talking about today?
Oh, yeah. We got some good shit for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've got a tale for you guys.
A tale. Tale as old as time.
That's right.
Song as old as rhyme.
So,
Beauty and the Beast.
kind of back where I lived when I was, 8th grade and then a freshman in high school. Lived out in the boonies, man. We didn't have shit to do.
The Boonies.
Except for, blow fireworks up and, be fucking nuisances in the neighborhood. Ding-dong ditching, leaving shit on porches, doing all that.
God, you're such a
shit.
delinquent. You're such a stereotype.
Yeah. The problem is I was brought up on those stereotypes, seeing it in all those old movies from, the 80s and shit, where they would, literally leave a burning bag of shit on a porch. And it's that's just kind of like what we wanted to do because it was funny. I think it was that movie, Billy Madison.
That classic 80s jam from 1993, Billy Madison.
No, I'm not talking about that movie being an 80s movie. I'm just talking about, one of our biggest influencers was Billy Madison.
The whole point of that movie is he's so juvenile, he has to go back to elementary school in his late 20s, man.
But they light the bag.
You're not supposed to...
Emulate.
Yeah.
They light the bag of duty on the guy's porch.
Man.
He comes out and goes, "It's poop again." And he pops up from the tree. He goes, "He called the shit poop." That has literally been one of our biggest influencers as far as leaving shit on porches and ding dong ditching and egging and all that good shit. Everybody's done it, man.
False. I've never egged anyone.
False.
Have you guys not egged anybody?
No.
I've never egged a person.
Good at two shoes. You know, I had no curfew in high school because I was such a good kid. I didn't need one.
I didn't have
same.
a curfew. I never had a curfew, man. I'm a good kid.
I'd stay out till 4 a.m. sometimes, but never get in any trouble.
Yeah.
Never got in trouble with the law. We always got in trouble with the people that we were fucking with.
Yeah, there's a caveat, though. I never got in trouble. End statement.
Yeah.
Ha!
Same.
But
I only
anyway,
got detention twice in my life, and both times it was for not doing my homework. Okay.
we decided to up the ante, and we got tired of going around to the same neighbor's house Friday, Saturday night, ringing the shit out of their doorbell or leaving poop on their porch, or we got tired of it fairly quick, and I'm sure they were too. But
You think
so then we found out that there was an old abandoned asylum right by our house.
What?
It's probably
Where did you live?
15, 20 minutes away from our house. Auburn area,
Okay.
Auburn, Sumner.
Okay.
But there was one in in the back end of Sumner. You have to drive through a few fields of crops and shit, and then boom, it's right there. And there's a little small group of houses on the little road up to it that are all condemned, but they're not boarded up or anything like that. So one night we tried to blow up the window to the living room so that we could go into this house and check it out.
Blow it up how? With an M80?
Do you guys know those little triangle fireworks?
No.
That you buy on the reservation?
I do not.
They're literally little pieces of paper that are folded like triangles that are filled with gunpowder.
Okay.
And they have a little, little wick. So we duct taped it, which, when you duct tape those things, it adds a bigger explosion to them. So we duct taped the shit out of these things. And then we went up to the window and we put one on the window. We lit the fucking thing. We ran away and we were expecting this window to just blow up. Dude, that thing goes off and it was loud as shit. And it was a big explosion. And this window, not a fucking dent. Nothing, not one thing happened to this window. So we were like, fuck, let's just check the front door. Front door was locked. So then we go around the back. We're walking around the back of this house, super spooky, man. It's probably 2 a.m. There's no cars, no nothing, no traffic, no cops, nobody. Nobody living anywhere close to these houses. So we were like, well, we're going to break into this house and check it out. We fucking looked through the back window at the back door, and somebody had already ransacked the house. So the cabinets were pulled out, all the drawers were open, shit was all over the floor. And then the back door was locked, but there was a huge hole in the side of the door. But we decided to check the back shed out first. And so we walk into this back shed. And we turn on a flashlight. The second we turn the flashlight on, this fucking bat goes flying out of the corner of the room. We're like, whoa! Oh, shit! Oh, fuck! And this fucking bat's literally just like, and then flies out, and we're all losing our fucking marbles, man. We're all running abouts and scared shitless. And we did this. This is what became of our Friday and Saturday nights, was going to these abandoned houses, and then eventually we were building up the ball sack to go to the asylum and check it out. And so this place was gated. Naturally, it was gated, and there was a caretaker house in front of it.
Of course.
So somebody lived there, and they took care of the building, and they watched it. We were always going there trying to break in. We couldn't find the loophole to get into this guy's fucking fence. So we had to like keep going around the perimeter, and there was like this really weird side road. Like it was like a little like pathway that was to the side that went into a whole bunch of trees and went into like a big like, you know, it was all trees and woods and shit. We were like, well, let's check this out. Let's see what we got going on over here. So we're in a group. It's like a group of like 10 of us. We start walking down there. Some of us are hanging back at the car, and then a few of us decide to go back and, you know, walkabouts and check out the trail. So we're walking down this trail, and it is dead silent, man. I'm telling you, you don't hear anything. We're walking. Everybody's kind of spooked. Everybody's quiet. Got our flashlight, and it's ahead of us, and all of a sudden, you see like the silhouettes of like 6 or 7 people, and they're all standing there. We saw them, and we were like, oh. Next thing you know, they start running towards us. And this is like the silhouette of people that one of them started running and the rest of them started running. We turned around and hauled ass back to the car. We're running, and these guys are right behind us. You can literally hear their footsteps, and I was terrified. I thought I was going to die. I was like, this is literally how I'm going to die. Stereotypical bullshit where I was adventuring and end up getting killed. And we come running out to the car, and our buddy Blake is standing by. He's smoking a cigarette and drinking a Gatorade. We go, Blake, get in the car. Start the fucking car. You just see him. He's chugging Gatorade, just spits his fucking Gatorade, throws his cigarette, gets into the car. We all jump in, and these guys are like right behind it. You can see them coming up on the side of the car. They all had shovels.
What? Jesus.
It was a group of like 6 dudes, and they all had shovels. And Blake just goes, haul ass, and steps on his gas and just blows rocks into these guys. And we just fucking skeet. We skate off. We just peel out of there. And that was like the last time that I had been in that area. And so I was just remembering this the other day because I heard somebody talking about like breaking into old abandoned buildings and checking it out and stuff. Just because we had always tried to get into that building and never succeeded. I wanted to get in there so bad. And, you know, Blake and them went the first time without me, and they went with a different group of people who actually found their way through and actually got into the building, and he took pictures of the inside, and it was spooky. But after that, nobody could get in there. It was extremely hard. We eventually, you know, gave up on the place, but I just, for some reason, something kickstart my memory of that, and like seeing those dudes on that trail was just, it was terrifying, man. You never really feel scared while you're adventuring until you run into something that you don't think is going to happen because it's not supposed to happen. There's not supposed to be a group of 6 people out there with fucking shovels.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Like, what were they doing? Why were they there? There was no vehicles, no cars, no nothing.
Maybe they were the caretakers, man.
6 dudes with shovels walking around.
Yeah, that's
pathway.
weird. That's really
and this wasn't even part of the property. This was on the side of the property. So it was like, this was like wooded area. I don't know what the fuck was going on in there, but if they were digging something up or digging a grave and putting somebody in there, or I don't know what it was.
Shit.
I didn't want any part of it, but they were charging at us with their shovels, and they were gonna let us have it, man.
That's crazy.
Ain't that some shit?
That is some shit.
Yeah.
And I was like 13 years old.
Ah,
13 or
damn.
14.
Oh, yeah, you said you were in 8th grade or whatever. That's crazy.
It was like 8th grade, 9th grade. I was
That's
13,
crazy.
14 years
That's
old.
crazy. You remind me, though, talking about fireworks. When I was in high school, we got into fireworks for a while. And my first car was a 1986 Buick LeSabre. It was maroon. It was like a boat. The thing, I couldn't make a 3-point turn. If I had to make a U-turn, it was more like a 17-point turn. It did not steer well. Anyways, it had one of those like retractable antennas, because it was fancy, but it was broken, so it would never come up. So we would use that hole in the back of the car to launch bottle rockets out of. How did you know?
I've launched bottle rockets out of everything, including
Exactly
my ass
where
cheek.
that's coming from. We did this so often there were scorch marks around it. My mom was like, "You're gonna blow up your car." Oh, jeez. But the one story I did have to tell, which I totally forgot in the time we were talking about dead bodies, and this is gonna get sad for a second, but I was at my dad's funeral last year, right around this time. And I mentioned this earlier on the last episode, but my dad is basically Randy Marsh personified. My dad loves like 70s. This is a tangent, but my dad loves like 70s rock. So the first time he heard the Guardians of the Galaxy theme song or soundtrack, he got really excited. So he asked us to play it at his funeral. So we did. And I'm talking to Tim, and I'm like, "Do you recognize this music that's playing?" He's like, "Yeah, it's like just like classic rock." I'm like, "No, this is the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack." And he's like, "Ha, very funny." And then like it switches from the first track to the second track. He's like, "Wait, is this actually the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack?" I'm like, "Yeah, he asked us to do that."
That's a fantastic
Shout out
soundtrack.
to Marvel for being the music at my dad's funeral.
That's insane.
Anyways, this was like a really popular funeral home, and the way this one was set up, it had a lot of those like false walls or whatever, so they could like set up multiple funerals at once without like disturbing the resting place. So they had one of those walls set up, and I didn't realize this was a fake wall. So I like leaned. My mom was in the back of the room, and I like wanted to tell her something. So I like leaned against the wall to like whisper to her, and I fell right through this false wall. On the other side of the wall, dead lady, just like hanging out, waiting for the next funeral.
Oh,
So I crashed through a fake wall into a dead lady in the middle of my dad's funeral.
oh, Lord.
I got up as fast as I could and shut the wall.
Oh, my God. That is... Dude, dead bodies are no joke. Like, that's some spooky shit. I, personally... I mean, I said it before when I told that Home Depot story. I don't really have, like, a sensitivity towards seeing it. Mm-hmm. It's smelling it.
Yeah.
If I smell it,
that.
it's gonna fuck me up. Like when I went to Hiroshima, the smell of the museum,
Really?
the nuclear bomb museum, stuck with me for maybe 2 years. It would not leave, and it frightened me every single time I thought of it and smelt it. That museum did a number on me. It fucked me up. I'd never seen anything so brutal and so gross and violent in my fucking life. I'm 10 years old walking through this museum, and there's charred fingers, charred clothes, and there's like the famous like bank stairs where that dude was sitting on, and the blast like shadowed him onto it. Oh, dude, that museum fucked me up so bad. That's the kind of thing that terrifies me.
Nuclear bombs?
Well, nuclear bombs have always been like my biggest deep darky spooky. You know, like I dream about them probably twice a week, and it always wakes me up, and I always can't go back to sleep because it fucks me up.
Vito, what's your biggest deep, darkest spooky?
I feel like I don't have one.
You've got to have something.
Werewolves is the answer. Werewolves are terrifying.
No, they're not swearwolves.
Werewolves, not swearwolves. Oh man,
Dude, I also gotta say the dark freaks me out.
that was me when I was a kid. I was terrified. I would
Dark
sleep with
freaks
all
me
the
out. I
lights
can
on.
sleep. I can sleep in it, and it doesn't really bug me. It's if I'm somewhere unfamiliar and it's extremely dark. I am not a fan of that, and especially somewhere that should have light and having it not be so. Like Mamo's bathroom.
Mimos?
Yes, on the Ave.
Why would you? How
Ladies
drunk
and
were
gentlemen,
you? How
this
drunk
place
were you?
was this place is a fucking shithole.
Yeah.
And I don't know why people go there, but
Because it's open late. It's open till
24
4
hours.
Yeah.
it's
and
24-hour Mexican
The thing about
restaurant.
Mimo's is it's awful Mexican food, but it's open late. You only go there when you're hammered, and even then you're like, this food is terrible. Why did we come here? And no one has a good answer for you, you know? Because
Dude,
Aladdin's right down the street's up until 2 anyway. So just go there.
So I go to I'm in there. I'm with Matt and our buddy Troy, and
Matt Norberg?
yeah, he
Oh.
goes there all the time. He loves that place. But
He
we talk
would.
about it all the time. That spooky fucking bathroom that should have light, but you go walking in there, and it's pitch black. And you're like, "Is there a light in here?" And the guys working there are like, "Nope." Oh, well, that's good. And then there's literally homeless people hanging out in the bathroom.
Of course.
And it's-
well, because it's open 24 hours.
Pitch black,
guess.
and there's like 3 different homeless people hanging out in there. It's like, remember I Am Legend? Remember that
Yeah,
movie? You remember
that
when he's looking
terrible
for his
movie, yeah.
dog, and he's like got his flashlight, he's covering it with his hand, and then he's like moving his hand out of the way, and then all of a sudden he sees that like circle jerk of aliens or monsters or whatever.
They were
They're all
zombies.
huddled together,
Yeah.
like that's literally Mamo's.
Although they were weird zombies because they were like allergic to light, so they're
like
basically
vampires.
vampires.
Like
yeah.
vampire zombies.
In the book, they can talk, and they are just vampires.
I like the original, the Omega Man. That one was
I don't know what you're referencing.
That one was great. That's like where I Am Legend got its like.
Oh, well, it's based on a book.
It's based on a book.
Yeah.
But then they made the Omega Man, and then they
I
made
see.
I Am Legend.
I see.
But I Am Legend to me wasn't a bad movie. I thought it had its
It was terrible.
dumb parts, but I mean, I was young when it came out, and I saw it in the IMAX, so of course I enjoyed it.
Like the one down at the planetarium.
Yeah.
I saw Dark Knight there, and it broke halfway through, so we got an intermission, which was useful because that movie's too long.
That movie's long. Endgame, 3 hours, folks.
I
Get ready
know.
for
That's
it.
fucking nuts.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not really spooked by much, and it's probably because of my sort of semi-nihilism. It's like,
I mean, sure.
like if something was gonna be really horrible, I would just like accept it and die, you
Damn.
kind of thing.
That's how I felt. I told you guys the time I got caught in a riptide, right? When I was in Southern California. Same day I stepped in a dolphin, I got caught in a riptide, and they had to send like the Baywatch guys out to rescue me.
Wow.
When I was caught in the riptide, I realized that I was floating out to sea and I couldn't get back, so I just accepted it. I'm like, this is how I die.
Oh my god. I don't know how you guys can do that. I can't do that. I panic and then I die because I panic. I die before you guys because I panic.
Yeah.
That's why.
They say most people, like, what is it? 25% of people panic. No, 50%. 50% of people do nothing. 25% of people panic, and 25% of people do what they should do. And the odds that you are one of those people who do the proper thing increases dramatically depending on the amount of training you had. But like, I've been in a few emergency situations, and I'm pretty much just a do nothing person. I've just accepted it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't panic, but I also don't do what I'm supposed to do. Like when I told everyone the story of a guy caught in a riptide, like, you just have to swim parallel to the shore. I'm like, I know intellectually how to escape a riptide,
But you
okay?
don't
But when
think
you're
of that.
caught in
You
it,
do
it's
not fucking
different.
think of that when you're
Yeah.
stuck in a riptide, man. That's why they're so dangerous.
I told you guys about the boating accident, right? When I was 12 years old. Did I
Yeah.
tell the story?
No.
Maybe.
Well, so when I was 12 years old, we were down the shore, and we were out crabbing with my dad, trying to just catch little crabs. We figured out if you tie like a glow stick into your crab pot, the crabs can see it, and they come more frequently. So we're just catching these little crabs. And we had this speedboat that we had forever, and the speedboat was fucking cursed. I swear, like they lost it for 3 weeks. Like somebody had failed tying it up or something, and it floated away. And this was like in 1998, so it was like pre-cell phones or whatever. So then like they found it because it washed it up on like somebody's private dock or whatever. And like, hey, I think this is your boat. Can you come get it? Wow. So we came and got it that day. That night, we're on the dock just like doing the crabs or whatever. And my uncle shows up. And this was a tiny little speedboat, right? Rated for about 6 people in it. They already got 7 people in it. Like, it's like my uncle and his best friend and their girlfriends and their dad. And they're like, you guys want to come for a ride? They're drunk as shit. Like, you guys want to come for a ride? Hop on in. So we all get in the boat. So now there's 12 people in this boat that's ready to hold about 6. Me, my sisters, my dad, and then a bunch of my uncles and shit. And we're just cruising along. And we start to realize it's too far weighted in the back, like it's going over the waves too high. So they put all the larger people towards the front, including me. Then the drunk moron who's driving the boat just cuts the engine. So we go over a wave, and we go immediately under. So now the boat is completely submerged.
Oh my god.
Like, so we're going down, and I'm just standing there like, huh, that's weird. Why is the boat under the water now? So like, my sister Renee is freaking out. It's like running to my dad to help her. My dad knows what to do because he's been in enough emergency situations. So he just grabs Renee, who's like 5 years old at the time, just throws her overboard. Jessica, same thing. I literally just stand there. I stand there and stand there. So like people are jumping overboard. My uncle jumps overboard and then the boat tips over. I still haven't moved. So now I'm under the boat,
Jesus
not moving.
Christ, man.
And I'm like, all right. Then I'm like, okay, I got to do something because I'm like, I'm going to fucking drown. So I try and swim under the boat and I can't. I didn't go deep enough. I try and swim under the boat and I didn't go deep enough again. And I'm like, all right, I'm not giving up. I go all the way down. It was only like 6 feet of water. I go all the way down to the bottom. I swim out and I come up. And I'm like 20 feet away from the rest of everyone else because they jumped off the boat. I was the only idiot who didn't. And I can hear my dad shouting, Joe, where's Joe? Where's Joe? I'm like, I'm right here. So then the seats all fell off because they were flotation devices. So we're using like the seat to float. And my dad is pulling us in as my uncles are like going under the boat and trying to push it. Because like I said, it's only about 6 or 7 feet of water. So it's like too deep to stand in, but like they could go down to the bottom, push the boat a few inches. And we weren't that far out. We're only in the bay. So we get all the way back to land, finally. My uncle Bill, who was like a high school track star, sprints back to the beach house and wakes everybody up, soaking wet. He's soaking wet. He comes busting in the door. He's like, I just want you to know the kids are okay. And my mom's like, Bill, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you so wet? My children were not with you. He's like, the kids are okay.
Don't worry, the kids are okay.
So then he tells them the story. Then they like come to pick us up. And when we got home, nobody wanted to hear our story because they had turned the TV on. And that was the same night that Princess Diana died. So that was like bigger news than our crazy boating accident.
Wow.
That's nuts.
I can't believe I never told that story.
That's a cursed day, man.
That's crazy.
You never told me that story.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm the kind of person who does not respond well to the crisis situations. I literally just stood there while the boat sank.
So you're the person that can't sit in the emergency section in an airplane.
I mean, I'd say I'll do just fine. I can follow direction. That's all they want to know. Like, do you think you'd be able to open this window? I'm like,
No,
yes.
I
Yes, I
can't.
think I'll be able to open the window.
I can't pull a fucking lever down.
Exactly.
I think I almost drowned once when I was a kid.
I did too. Yeah, I think drowning's terrifying, man.
Yeah, I was I insulted one of my friends and they almost drowned me.
Like holding your head under the
Yeah.
water? Jesus Christ.
Dude, kids don't think about that shit, but
Yeah.
it's like that's how kids die in water.
I also almost got choked to death by my brother, I think.
What? What did you do?
Oh, well, he gets pissed off easily, and especially when it's me because, like,
Younger or older?
older.
He's like 10 years
Yeah.
older, right?
7 years older. Yeah, and he just, like, I can't even remember what even happened, but it was just like, I did something to tick him off, and he just got super angry and started choking me out.
Fuck. I mean,
I think the scariest
that's just
thing was,
sibling life, man.
like, the scariest thing when I was a kid was like when you go to the pool and you would like jump off some like little floaty walkway that they have, and then you go under the floaty and you go up and your head hits like the
I
foam.
can't say I've ever had that
I've never
experience.
done that, but
And
that
you're
sounds
stuck.
scary.
You're stuck underneath, and that's where you panic.
Well, that's
'Cause
like
you're
with the
a
boat. That
fucking
was the boat
kid, man.
situation. Yeah.
You're trying to
Exactly.
come up out of the water, but you hit this little foam floaty thing that kids are standing on. So you're fucking stuck underneath it. You don't know what's going on. You don't know, so you start flailing about, and it really makes you think that it's like you panic so fast without thinking.
You remind me of when I was a marine biologist. We had to do water safety training. So like you put on the big Gumby suit and you jump in, and then you have to practice like riding a life raft because oftentimes when they inflate, they're upside down, so you have to flip them over, and they're really fucking heavy. So you basically have to like stand on top of this upside down life raft, grab these straps, and fall backwards, and then don't let the like CO2 canister bop you in the fucking head. Like it's
Christ.
crazy.
I'm gonna let Benjamin in. He locked himself outside.
The dog is a goddamn knucklehead. Knucklehead. I wanted to tell you. You reminded me, since we all have siblings.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell some good sibling stories. So I don't remember this, but apparently, when I was like 3 and my sister Jessica was like 18 months old, So before she could really move around, I would take all of her toys and put them like 3 inches out of her reach. So she'd be sitting there and there'd be like a circle of toys around her just out of reach. And she would get more and more frustrated until she would start to cry. And then my mom would yell at me. And I would just be standing there smirking.
Wow.
One time,
funny.
my youngest sister, my mom had one of the cars with those, like, the parking brake was on the column. So we also had a inclined driveway. So we were at the bottom of the driveway, but up the incline. And my mom had gotten out to get the mail. And I'm like, Renee, if you pull that lever, the candy will come out. So Renee pulls the parking brake and puts the car neutral and starts rolling down the hill.
Oh
My mom like jumps in and like squishes her leg and like, why did you do that? And shouts at her, and Renee's, like 5, so she's crying. But then once she told my mom, I told her to do it.
That's always the worst. Dude, I was a little children, and my grandpa was working on our van, but he left me in the car. He left me in the van with the keys in it and the van running. I put the van in drive and drove right through our garage doors. Safe to say I caught a pretty good ass whooping after that one. And, this is around the same circa time of getting my mouth washed out with soap because I said stupid.
Yeah.
So I was catching...
Because you said stupid.
catching whippings left and right because I was just... Dude, drove a fucking van through a garage door. That's always one of my favorites. And then when he'd be cleaning the van, I'd always pick up, like, big piles of dirt and throw it at the van. And then spray it off with a hose and be like, I cleaned it. I'm cleaning it. So I'd throw, like, rocks and shit and, like, dirt and throw it all over the windshield and then spray it off with a hose and be like, okay, it's clean. Great times, man. I miss my grandpa.
We had a septic system when I was growing up because, again, we lived in the woods in the middle of nowhere. And I flushed marbles down at one time. And I tried to blame it on my imaginary friend. So, we couldn't use the toilet for a few days, and they had to come and, clean it out because, those things are fragile. You should not flush marbles down your toilet.
You got it. The septic systems they're very fucking sensitive. The second you do something out of the ordinary, it's totally fucked.
Yep.
There's no bueno, man.
It reminds me when the toilet at work was out for like a week and a half because somebody flushed down
a hypodermic needle. Oh.
No, somebody flushed a T-shirt, man.
What? I thought it was a
paper
needle.
Towel. That's why they made a sign saying don't flush paper towels down the toilet.
Oh, you mean those toilets?
Yeah.
What about the time when the upstairs bathrooms got clogged up?
Yeah, and they were leaking gray
on?
water into the department. Yes,
Yeah.
I remember. But that was a hypodermic needle, not a T-shirt.
No. This was like, this was in September, I think.
Is that when the?
It's happened more than once.
This is when it flooded.
Oh.
It flooded our whole department.
Jesus.
And
Did you close?
we had to close down
Oh,
immediately,
wow.
obviously.
Well,
Because
yeah,
I called Frank and I was like, yo, dude, there's shit water coming up. And he's like, get out. Get out. Get out.
There's like 3 or 4 situations where you like legally have to close the store immediately.
And that's one of them.
And that's
but
one of
somebody
No way. I know. But there was that one time.
They found the clog and they pulled it out and it was a fucking summer's best T-shirt.
What? So it was like an employee.
That's
fucking
fucking
employee
hilarious.
flushed a T-shirt.
That's hilarious.
I
No,
love
there
it,
was
man.
there was one time while I was still working there when the sink, like the hand sink, had water sewage backing up into it, and we didn't close. And what happened was the upstairs toilet was clogged because someone tried to flush a hypodermic needle down it.
Yeah, good times, man. I love those needles.
This week's podcast is brought to you by the Beefy Boys. Just 3 cool dudes hanging out, talking about sports, video games, music, and whatever else they feel like. Find them at their website, www.beefyboys.com. Also, where you find your other podcasts, iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, all the regulars. The Beefy Boys, the best show on planet Earth.
Dude, I want to kind of go back to the deep darkies. Are you guys scared of the woods? Like when you go
Can I tell a quickie while you're mentioning the woods? It's not even really a story, but it's just sort of something that happened. Is because I lived in Big Bear, California, it's on a mountain in the woods, and there's like city and like normal streets and everything that goes everywhere, but my friend's neighborhood and my neighborhood had a shortcut. You could, if you went through the woods, it was a lot faster. And so I went like at midnight through the woods, and nothing weird or scary happened, but it was pretty creepy.
It's eerie.
Yeah.
Being in the forest at nighttime is.
And we had all kinds of coyotes and shit.
Coyotes are not scary.
Well, no, not scary, but like they can hurt you for sure. If,
No,
if there's a pack. If it's one, it'll run away because you're too big. But if
Coyotes max out at 40 fucking pounds. All right, you can like punt a coyote. They're tiny.
Well,
They're like a big fox.
I'm not saying it was something to be scared of. I'm just saying, like, if there was 5 of them, they could probably kill you.
Fuck you up.
Yeah.
They're gonna definitely fuck.
They're gonna
up.
at least fuck you up, if not kill you.
You just sacrifice your forearm and then you take your elbow, break their fucking necks, man. It's easy peasy.
Yeah, easy. And
I ain't
Survival
scared. I ain't
expert,
scared of
man.
coyotes.
Bear Grylls over here.
Yeah, fucking hell, dude.
Yeah, man. I just think it's we went
As a fucking nerdy fat ass teenager, I'm not gonna fucking karate chop a coyote.
Did you guys hear? This is Ara's favorite story. But did you guys hear about the time that a coyote was in the federal building in downtown Seattle?
Sorry, what'd you
So
say?
yeah, you have to repeat what you said.
A coyote broke into the federal building in the middle of the day in downtown Seattle, and they found it on like the 5th floor, which means somehow it got through security and onto the elevator. And like nobody stopped it.
That's fucking hilarious.
Bring your dog to work day.
Apparently,
Yeah, I think I've seen a coyote around here.
they are. You
They
can hear
are.
them for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
They're around here. I mean, we have enough rabbits for them to eat.
Half the homeless people don't eat them first.
The rabbits?
Yeah, they eat everything, man. That's why they have worms and shit. They eat the possums and then they eat the rabbits and stuff.
They should, oh man, I was just thinking about that rat that chased me out of my own
Yeah, you
yard
gotta go
today.
catch it, dude. You better go catch it before somebody calls dibs on it.
I mean, I know they climb the bamboo to try and get up on the roof, and I've heard them trying to claw on the side of the house, but we're pretty well rodent proof.
Nice.
We had the whole thing like rodent proof, so
Nice.
and it's well insulated too.
I would just go into that bamboo and light it on fire.
I want to chop it all down. Ara's like, but it's nice, and I'm like, oh, but it's such a thicket and a hassle, and plus like so many people have just like abandoned. There's so many like rusted out microwaves and shit on that side of the house because people just throw shit over there, especially when they move out of the house next door. Like we'll just put it in this bamboo thicket. Like get your garbage out of the side of my house. Like I had to have an electrician come, and we have a conduit along the outside of our house, and the only way that they could get to it was to crawl out of my bedroom window because there's too much bamboo on either side to get to that side of the fucking house. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
I really
man.
want to know. So you're a goat expert. Do goats eat bamboo?
They eat everything.
They eat everything.
But do they eat bamboo?
Yeah.
'Cause
Probably.
I want to rent a goat, but I'm like I know they're gonna go straight for my blackberry bush, which I want to keep. I like the blackberries.
Yeah, they're gonna eat that shit up
Yeah,
fast.
but that's on the other side of the house. So I think if we have a good goat herder, we can get them to just eat the bamboo. I know they love brambles.
they're
I
gonna
know
eat.
that.
They're gonna eat your grass before they eat your bamboo.
That's fine. We're bad at mowing the lawn.
But they'll eat everything. They'll just sit there and eat shit.
Do you
up
guys
shit.
know of any good goat rental places?
I also
around
have a
here?
machete if you want one.
Do you do?
Yeah.
Interesting, but that's even then I have to like dig it up. That's like macheting it is just the first half because the shit grows so fast. It'll just grow back.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
You gotta
I
dig
took
it up out of the ground.
A tree corpse by macheting down its
Maybe-
fucking leftovers.
When I have a few days off, I'll go out there and machete it all, and then dig it all up, and
Yeah.
then like hire like a junk hauling company to get rid of all the crap out there too.
Yeah. Or even
know,
if
it
you just
feels
have
like an adventure.
enough bins.
Just pay somebody to do it.
No, because you can have as much yard.
I know there's no limit on yard waste.
Yeah.
I know.
So I like how we're just having this real ass conversation in the middle of the podcast.
This is how you can tell that I'm in my fucking 30s, is I'm concerned about the fucking bamboo next to my house.
Speaking of spooky stories, I got a bunch of bamboo.
Oh, there's all those animals living in it and
Fucking
shit.
rats and
Bamboo, yeah.
Bamboo.
You think a goat will eat it?
Whatever. This is why people come to this show.
Fucking goat herder, dude.
That's what they call them.
Now that Vito pointed it out, I'm really thinking, like, Jesus Christ, we literally had a fucking conversation about goat herding bamboo,
Yeah.
like eating bamboo, killing it with a shovel and machetes.
How to take out this has been very informative on how to get rid of out of control bamboo forests, thickets in your own backyards, man.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think.
We paid to get a tree cut down, and then its corpse grew out like a bunch of little trees, and I had to cut it all down with a machete. It was like a forest in like a month.
I mean, while we're on the topic, we also have a fig tree in the backyard that's growing so out of control we can't pick the figs fast enough, so they just like end up as like fruit grenades, and because they all ripen at the same time. So like my car is just covered in rotted figs for like a week because they keep falling on it.
Figs are so spooky. I don't like.
You don't like figs? Why not?
It's like, you ever had a fig Newton?
It's like bug eggs, man. I don't like it.
What? You just like aesthetically, you don't like them?
Like when you see a fig?
Texture and the idea of it and the way it looks and...
I just don't really like them because they're too sweet.
Like, I like them.
But the birds go crazy for that shit.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
It's because it's fucking bug eggs.
And one day I was like, go pick all the figs. So I go under there. Oh my God, it was Spider City under that fucking fig tree, man. I had to get a broom as like my spider spear. It's like, all right, get all these webs out of here. Okay.
I'm trying
I
to
had
think.
a bowl full of figs.
I'm trying to think of like the scariest fucking thing that has ever happened to me. I, for some reason, can't pinpoint an exact.
Because you had so many fucking scary things happen to you.
That's because I love spooky.
Yeah,
shit.
but they're all like they're all
stories.
self-inflicted wounds. Yeah.
Yes. I put myself in these positions because I love the thrill of it.
Yeah.
It's like people who jump out of fucking airplanes.
Yeah.
I would never do that, but people love the thrill of free falling.
Free.
See,
Free fall.
I just love the idea of maybe we can go in here and maybe we can see if ghosts are real and check it out. And then all of a sudden it's usually just like a homeless guy who's yelling at us or a bat in the back of a shed or just like the usual uneasy atmosphere of having something be cold and abandoned and left forgotten. There was a house over there by Home Depot and Northwest Hospital and shit that was abandoned for years. Like, I'm telling you, this house had nobody living in it for probably, I'd say, a good 6 or 7 years. And it just stood there, and the grass grew huge, and the house just kind of like hung around. So we were like, all right, we're going to break into this place, check it out. And so we go to the back door, and well, first off, the smell was rancid. It was so bad. Like, you could smell the house. When you'd walk up close to it, you could smell it from, like, from a distance. You could smell this place. And I want to say that it smelled like corpse, because I know what corpse smells like, and it sticks with you, but I didn't know that that's what it smelled like at that time. So I don't think it was. It was definitely dead rodents, but it wasn't like a dead human, obviously, just because that shit just doesn't happen. You're not dead for 6 years in a house in the middle of the city and not found. It just doesn't happen.
Well, it could have been a squatter.
I mean, that's true, but this place was pretty, right on a main road. Like, everybody saw this house every day. I just don't think it was something like that, but we fucking go to the back door and open it up. Dude, this house is like furnished and shit. It was Jesus Christ.
Keep talking. Sure, you're gonna fucking kill yourself.
Fucking ninja, man.
Yeah, and trying to ninja yourself across these fucking microphones.
He's gone to the bathroom so many times. It's about time to get that prostate
piss
check.
ninja.
Vito, grab your gloves, bud.
Uh-oh.
Snap up those gloves. It's time. But, dude, you open up the back door, this house is fully fucking furnished.
Foreskin.
The sleeve. And I think, to me, that in my opinion, that was like the most terrifying part of that house.
Yeah.
That experience was that you walk in and there's a table, there's a couch, there's chairs and photos and it's fucking furnished.
Yeah.
But it's just cold and abandoned and wet and mildewy and moldy. And somebody heard shuffling in the back, so we all fucking took off running. But just the view of that inside of that house. Like the fact that nothing was emptied out, everything was still there, really didn't. I had dreams about this place, like a lot. Like it was always something that I
feel
would
like you would.
like I would wake up in it and I'd know exactly where I was, but I didn't know what was going on. You know
when I do feel that fucking spooky dark ass feeling is in dreams. I don't really feel it that much in real life at all, if at all. But in dreams I definitely do, like, because the dreams will like restrict you in ways that you aren't restricted in life, you know?
Yep. You're not physically able to.
Like sometimes you'll be like scared of something and then you won't be able to physically move your body or whatever. Just in the dream. I haven't had like actual sleep paralysis, but like dream paralysis, I guess.
Right. I mean, sleep paralysis fucking sucks.
Yeah, I've never had that, but
And it's something that you can't really avoid.
Yeah.
If you get it, you get it.
Yep.
And there's no way out of it unless you just naturally come out of that state. I've never seen anything having sleep paralysis besides dreaming.
Right.
But I've never seen like figures in my room. Like I read a lot about that and people always say like, "Oh yeah, there's something standing like right above me." I've never seen that. I've never had that. Thank God.
That's like my story.
It's funny. I have this dream thing to talk about. I got this weird recurring theme, I guess, on some. And I don't dream often, so that's why I can be like, it's definitely a recurring theme because it's happened a lot. Is I'll be in a sort of normalish situation, and then there'll be this bug of some sort, like a flying creature, or not just one. It's usually like a swarm or something, probably. Sometimes it's just one, and then there's some kind of reason why I feel threatened by it in the dream, and then I feel like I need to kill it, so I just kill it, and then it like splits into two, or like stings me, and it hurts, or so some kind of weird like I can't win kind of dream.
Right.
I'm just like, I'm scared of this bug for some reason, but then I try and crush it, but then it like stings me and it hurts. Like, oh no, what a terrifying thing.
It hurts.
No, but like in the, well, I can't think of more than one explanation.
I'm just messing with you.
Like I don't think that was actually one of the things that happened, but like I can think of this one where it was like almost like a maggoty thing. I was trying to get off the bed and I couldn't get it off or something, and so I just like started killing them, and then they like multiplied or something while I was killing them. I was like, what the fuck do I do?
You do remind me. I am also scared of spiders, but I have a legit reason. I don't know. I think Christian, so I don't know if you saw when I got bit by that hobo spider, and there was just like a wound on my ankle for a month.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, when you get bit by those fucking things, it
sucks.
bad.
It sucks. It literally affected my mood for like 3 months.
Whenever
I still have a
spider
scar on my
that's
ankle from it.
That's not one I recognize as like a corner dweller or something like that. I'll fucking smush that shit.
The good thing is at least I don't see it. If I'm bit by a spider, I don't see it. But if I know and I physically see the spider crawling on me, I'd probably pass out. 100% pass out.
I've flicked spiders off of me
And
before.
people fucking buy these fucking things as pets. It's the most torturous thing for me to see. Like,
well, what about like tarantulas? Because they're
what's your guys' biggest phobia? I guess that's
werewolves.
another good question. Like a phobia, not like not fucking werewolf.
Werewolves are terrifying.
Talking like,
what are you talking about?
talking like arachnophobia or being scared of heights or something like that. What's your guys'
Werewolfophobia.
You're a goof. Do you have one? Are you spooked of rodents or rats or
I'd
sorry?
say I have like an anxiety feeling around not knowing where. Or sort of an anxiety around travel, I guess.
Yeah.
Where I'm fine during traveling and like all that.
It's the lead up.
It's the lead up where it's like, am I going to make it on time? Am I going to miss this? Am I going to have to like take the next day flight or whatever? Like,
I get
all
it.
that kind of shit.
I hate that shit.
I hate that kind of stuff, so I get that kind of feeling.
I guess it would just be spiders for me. Like, I'm not scared of public speaking, obviously. We have a fucking show that we were just talk the whole
A show
time.
where we literally speak to the fucking public.
Like, I work as an educator, so my job is to talk to people.
Yeah. And then as far as, like, actual, like, fear phobias, I don't think I have any that I can
Fear of the
think of.
dark!
Yeah. No, I revel in the dark, dude. When it's fucking like nice and clear and dark outside, I just want to go for like a walk out in the night.
Damn.
Oh my god, this is like the dorkiest thing ever. But I used to be really scared of the dark until I until I played Tales of Symphonia 2. Like, the plot of that game is that like the light religion is evil and like the dark religion is your friend. So like the god of darkness talks about how great darkness is, how it's like a warm enveloping hug. And then I just wasn't scared of the dark anymore.
That's pretty cool, though.
I told you that was
That
the
is pretty
dorkiest thing ever.
It's kind of dorky, but it's pretty
Hear
cool.
your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a believer in.
A believer.
I'm not.
Be
I'm not a believer in the fact of throwing yourself into your phobia situation to
Yeah.
make you get over
immersion therapy? I mean, but that shit works though.
it. Sure, but no.
You wouldn't. You don't just want to be like
No.
submerged in spiders or whatever.
I'm
like,
no, absolutely not. There is no way. There is
Why don't-
no
what-
amount of money, and there is nothing that you can do to get me to
See,
lay
we
down and
need
have
to-
like 10 spiders crawl over.
or like just
You know
dip
what-
you in the ocean.
You know
or
what we
whatever.
need is
With a shark.
a video camera and a tarantula, and we have to have them pet one.
We
It's
have
been
a
done
video
before by
camera.
another podcast group, but now that I know this, I want
Whatever.
to do it.
I'd pass out.
That just reminds me of The Simpsons did it from South Park. Just because an idea has been done before doesn't mean we can't do it. We aren't the only podcast to break it to
I'd
you.
fucking pass out. I could not touch a tarantula. It's got its hairy legs and it's a lot of eyes. No. No. People have these things as pets.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
That is so fucked. How did you? What if it gets out?
They're not
gets out
like
of its
poisonous.
Yeah, and they don't hurt people.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It's like-
They don't like to bite people.
If I'm at somebody's house and their tarantula is not in their big hot tank and it's walking on their wall, I'm throwing my shoe at it.
oh my god, you reminded me. In 4th grade, we had a class snake, and it escaped one day. We couldn't find it all
But I'm
day.
not scared of snakes.
Hold on. We found it the next day. It had been cooked. It had crawled into the oven where it was warm, and then when the lunch ladies turned on to cook the meal the next day, they cooked the
Poor snake.
I swear to God.
Oh,
Oh no.
He was probably like, God.
Reptiles,
this place is
man, they like
he's
hot
this place is so warm. Then he was like, fuck.
Oh, no.
Why is it getting so hot?
Yeah.
He was like, shit, it was warm, but now it's hot. And then all of a sudden he's just steaming.
It's burnt. Baked snake. It was like a hint of snake in the mac and cheese that day.
Oh,
I'm kidding. Just like the aroma.
dude, it's like those people that burn their house down because they tried to fucking blowtorch a spider on their wall. They fucking catch their house on fire.
Oh, man.
I think that's not me. I'm just gonna smash the spider
Yeah.
and let it go. Or if I really am feeling gracious, I'll trap it and then take it outside.
You ever seen one of those giant house spiders that we have
Honestly,
around here?
it feels bad, but
House spiders are scary.
I
giants,
mainly
yeah.
kill the things because I'm too lazy to capture it and let it release it. Like, I'd rather just smush
Just
it.
crush it. Just crush it.
yeah,
I've
it's
been
like
trying to leave them alone because we have ant problems. I'm like, just take out the ants for me, you know?
Yeah, we keep the nice ones, but there's we when we see a spider, we research what it is.
That's so dorky.
So like, there's
I hope you do it with a book. I hope you like pull up a book.
Oh, here's the spider. Break out the spider guy.
I mean, I think we have one, but
A spider guy.
Spiderpedia
I couldn't have
or
that.
whatever.
I couldn't have that
But,
in my house.
Guess what you're getting for Christmas?
Fucking die.
but yes, we like research it, and if it's not like dangerous at all, we just smash it.
Here's one.
I mean, we don't smash it. if it's
Here's a
not
phobia that.
You just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Here's a trending phobia, and one that really caught me off guard. And
Tide
it's the
pods.
Fear of losing all your followers.
it's the fucking it's the holes in your skin.
Oh, dude,
What?
my fiance, like, I think almost got the phobia because it was on the internet. Like,
Yes.
she'd never been exposed to it before until the internet.
I saw like a picture of it.
And I think it's kind of gross, but it's not a phobia for me. But
It's
for her,
scary,
it's a total
man.
phobia.
Like wormholes in your fucking skin.
yeah,
I don't like it. You look like a
it's when
barnacle.
people edit like holes over skin, so it looks like there's holes in the skin,
Oh.
like a
Like-
disease.
I can't remember what it's called, but I think you got to look it
Yeah.
up so you can see it. But you got to just look up fucking holes in your skin
Yeah.
phobia. I can't remember what it's called. I can't keep up with all these
These kids and their weird shit.
Yeah.
Phobia, where you're scared of like.
Did you
your
listen to my sister's
telephone.
podcast? The one about
Hypochondria?
phobias?
What?
The phobia of long words is like a 20-letter word.
Oh my god,
That's hilarious.
I think it's a joke.
ironic.
Oh my god, my buttons are so sticky.
It's good.
Whatever.
So-
Maybe
the
stop.
buttons.
Maybe stop shooting
Oh, the Reddit
custard
rip-
shot
No,
on your keyboard.
It's the
It's
red
the
hook
beer, you
business.
chuckleheads. It's called trypophobia. This
Yes.
is really creepy looking.
Yes, I can't look at it.
Yeah.
It'd make me anxious and
Barf.
scared. Like when I see it on photoshopped on people's feet, scares me because I have like
I should not have clicked on the images.
I have like 5 inches of callus on my foot. So it's like I have the superpower of stepping on glass and having it not go into my foot. It just kind of like breaks on my callus and then
Yeah.
lays on the floor.
Yeah.
I literally just, dude, in the summertime, I walk around barefoot. I'll walk outside and I'll just walk on the fucking, I'll take the garbage out barefoot. Walk on
And around
rocks
here,
and everything. What's
fucking
that?
needles and glass everywhere.
Oh,
Blah.
I keep my eye out for needles and shit. I'm not walking through.
Well, you could just put shoes on.
I'm not walking with patches of grass out there, man. I'm talking about like walking on the concrete.
Yeah.
I let that hot concrete like burn callus on my foot, so that way I have like a superpower foot. So when I take it to go get a pedicure, they have to grate it with a cheese grater.
You make those
Like-
poor Korean ladies take
like
care of those
bust
feet
out
for
the
you,
fucking
man?
saw iron.
Well, you gotta
you
do the
guys are gonna-
soak first, and then you can just like pick at it.
Yeah, they do their nice soak. I gotta go get one of those, man.
Yeah, I should do too.
got
remember
some
I
pretty
got
gnarly
one.
calluses
I've never
on my
gotten it
feet,
before.
too.
Remember I got one, and
Me neither.
she cheese grated my foot, and there was so much there that she like decided to show everybody.
Wow.
Oh, look at this! I'm like, why? Don't
Being
do that.
publicly shamed at the fucking
And then
pedicure
they put a whole bunch
place.
of lotion on my feet, and then they give me their stupid little paper flip flops, and I take one step, and my foot slips because it's just covered in lotion. I slip and I fall right on my ass
Well, you got used to the calluses, man.
in front of everybody, man. I was like, no, so bad. It's not good. No bueno.
No bueno.
No bueno.
Listeners, if any of you know how to de-stickify a keyboard that you dumped beer all over, please let me know, because the keys are really fucking sticky.
Yeah,
right
you just
now.
need to grab like a paper towel and some like rubbing alcohol. And,
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, that's basically how you clean any electronics in general. Is just
But I
like
have to turn the thing off
some
first, right?
some rubbing alcohol with paper towel or
And then just
swab.
like dab it.
Yeah. And yeah. For those of you not being able to see, Joe just did a dab. And I don't mean like
He didn't just
Weed.
smoke one.
No, the dance move from 2013.
yeah.
Oh, I
Was
got a
that
funny story.
2013?
Really?
No, it
No,
wasn't.
that was like
It was like
2015.
2016. I was on a cruise with my family. We're in the Bahamas. We're at this miniature golf place, and the cool thing about this miniature golf place is they set it up so every 6 holes you move past the bar to try and encourage you to buy more beer. Anyways, we had finished, and I was doing the scorecard, and I had beat my sister Renee by 1 stroke. And I'm like, here you go, Renee. And then I just did the most epic dab ever. And the guy running the place was like the world's most stereotypical Jamaican. So he's like, ooh, look at that white boy dab there. It was hilarious.
Everything's RE.
All right. I think we should. I think we're done.
We have. I think we've overstayed our welcome on the beefy posts, on the beefy boys. You know.
Word.
I mean, it's nice to shoot the shit.
I mean, we have almost an hour. This is a full episode we got here, y'all.
Yeah, we could probably
let's,
record another one.
I don't think we have any more topics.
I think we're all out of content.
I think we're
man.
done.
I think we're officially dried. The well has been dried up.
All right. Well, write in. Let us
Time to
know.
start digging for oil, man.
Let us know what you want us to talk about. If you have any tips for getting rid of bamboo, if you are a goat expert,
Goat expert.
give me some goat herder recommendations. How to get rid of a sticky keyboard. This has been episode 28 or whatever, I think. I'm Joe. Vito. Say something.
Thank you.
Say goodbye, Christian.
Derp.
And we'll see you guys next week.